Hi, my name is Dr. Alexandria Hollett. My pronouns are she and her, and I have a PhD in curriculum and instruction and gender studies. And I am here today to help you navigate and write a statement of purpose for a master's or doctoral degree in the field of education. So I'll talk broadly about what a statement of purpose is, and then I'll provide some concrete tips and strategies for preparing your statement of purpose as you finalize your application materials. Broadly speaking, a statement of purpose is a written 1 to 2 page document that expresses who you are and your interest in, alignment with, and potential contribution to your chosen field of study. So someone who reads your statement of purpose should walk away understanding what relevant experiences you've had in relation to your chosen field, in this case, education, what interests you about the program you're applying to, and how you anticipate contributing to the program in meaningful ways. And in order to communicate effectively and successfully, you'll want to keep a few things in mind. So first, remember that it is probable that the committee or the person reviewing your materials sees a lot of these applications. You want to balance having an authentic and memorable voice without coming across as gimmicky or cringe. So as often as possible, try to balance broader generic statements with specific examples of what you mean. Everyone is going to say that they're committed to X thing the program says they're looking for. What will make you stand out is how you prove your commitment by including these concrete examples of what you're talking about. So for example, if you say that you're committed to fostering activism in the classroom, you might follow up that statement by saying, every academic year, your class chose an issue in their community and created an organizing campaign to improve the lives of community members affected by that issue. And topics your students have addressed range from improving the nutritional quality of school lunches to opposing the development of a power plant in their neighborhood. Of course, you can't say that if it's not true. So this is a no-brainer, but I'll express it anyway to get it on the record. Don't lie. Another way you can increase your chances of your reviewer carefully reading your application is by making the different parts of your statement of purpose very clear and easily differentiated. And one of the best ways to do this is by using the same language that the program uses in their application materials and on their website. So for example, if your statement of purpose is supposed to include your commitment to diversity, you will want to make sure that you address this directly and use the same terminology the program uses. This will not make you sound like everyone else. It will make your statement more readable, more legible to someone who has to pore over anywhere between 10 to several hundreds of similar applications. So they'll be able to say, yep, here's where they talk about diversity like we wanted to see, and they clearly know what they're talking about. Cool, check. Related to this idea of readability, don't write one long paragraph. Break your points up into different paragraphs that are centered around similar ideas. And remember that your writing is a mix of narrative writing, so you're sharing who you are and what you've done, as well as persuasive writings, where you're making a case for why you fit in with the program and what you have to offer. And this can be a very difficult needle to thread because you're simultaneously talking yourself up so you seem like a good candidate for acceptance, while also not wanting to appear arrogant or off-putting to the reviewers. And one of the ways that I try to navigate this is by including achievements, but also noting specific instances of collaboration or working with others to achieve goals. And sometimes, if it's relevant, I might name a few scholars whose work has helped influence and define my own stance or approach to education. But also with this, don't get weird about it. You can just say, for example, that you're interested in the program because it stresses abolitionist education, and your perspective on abolition has been greatly influenced by Dr. Robin D.G. Kelley's scholarship on freedom dreaming. You don't have to belabor this. If you're going to name people, just share 1 or 2 people, keep it moving. If there is a faculty member in the program you're applying to that you're particularly interested and excited in working with, name them for sure, but don't fangirl. You don't want to look like a suck up. The only other thing that I want to make sure I really stress is that you do want to be yourself. You won't be happy in a program where you feel you have to hide aspects of who you are, so it's better for everyone if you are clear about your values and goals. For example, when I applied to my doctoral programs, I made sure to emphasize that I'm interested in queer theory as it relates to education, because I knew I would not be happy if I ended up in a program that didn't value queer epistemologies, contributions, genealogies, lifeways, people, etc. I'm not saying that if you have a marginalized identity, you need to disclose that. I am not saying that, but I do recommend being clear about your values as a scholar and as a person. So, writing a statement of purpose can seem daunting, but it is also clarifying because writing is thinking. So you'll learn more about yourself through this process if you can engage with it with an open heart and an open mind. Finally, proofread your or ask a trusted friend who is as good or better of a writer than you to look it over. Good luck. Happy writing.